The U.S. attorney called a drug bust here in Monroeville and Plumboro a serious disruption to the cocaine supply chain. The investigation began when federal agents intercepted phone conversations back in April. Police say the drugs were shipped in a secret compartment of a tractor trailer. It was delivered to a farm in Plum and then taken to a house in Monroeville. They found 20 kilos of cocaine and $450,000 in cash. The bust led to 10 arrests.
We will not tolerate organizations flooding our streets with illegal drugs that result in violence, prey upon the sick, and threaten our community.
Investigators say the cocaine has a street value of more than $4 million.
Cashing in, the gambling industry making a big play amid the economic turmoil. Gaming industry promising federal leaders new and big tax revenues if only they legalize more online gambling. So far, they're winning. In the recent weeks, the group of the U.S. House announced a plan to legalize online poker. It's a $6 billion business. If it becomes law, you and your family could play as long as our governor issues websites a license.
We ought to be able to do this in an open, transparent way so that the consenting adults that want to do something can do it.
The way that this expansion is happening is very troubling because people are looking at the revenues and they're not looking at the cost. And this is not painless, easy, or free revenue.
Well, this spring, the U.S. Justice Department announced a crackdown on online poker websites, shutting 3 popular sites down for violating federal law. If the new law is passed, those sites would be allowed to operate again. It will be considered again this September.
An Allegheny County Democratic committeeman faces charges for allegedly stalking and threatening a bar owner with a 2x4. The owner of Alchemy and Ale told police that 71-year-old Byron Tilsch threatened him at his bar on Saturday. Tilsch was arraigned and jailed today when he couldn't post a $50,000 bail. Tilsch is the father of Stephen Tilsch, who was convicted of third-degree murder in the 2002 death of a rabbinical student in 1986.
More traffic is coming and going through Pittsburgh International Airport. The June numbers were just released, show American Airlines with the biggest jump at 28%, Southwest Airlines an 11% increase in traffic. All the major airlines, United saw the biggest drop in traffic. That was down 16%. Series of break-ins, thieves targeting the same neighborhoods night after night.
I've taken precautions now at my house, so when they come back, I'll know.
And coming up, the victims tell us they've had enough and they're ready to fight back.
And up next, police are on the lookout for a well-dressed robber, but they say he didn't get away with much.
Our top stories tonight, nearly 24 kids needed to be rescued after their dragon boat sinks in the Allegheny River. They were tossed into the water in the wake of a passing boat near the 9th Street Bridge around 7:30 tonight. The kids were wearing life jackets. No one was hurt. And
police have arrested a teenager who's allegedly behind a series of break-ins in Shadyside. They say he's stolen more than $100,000 in loot, including a Lexus, and then left ransom notes for the victims. Police believe he's responsible for more than a dozen burglaries in just the last month.
Bloomfield Street's buzzing with police after a well-dressed man with a gun robs a woman and takes off into a nearby business. The victim was shaken up, but the thing she remembers the most was his appearance.
Yeah, nice clothes and a strange mask. It went down this afternoon along Liberty Avenue near West Penn Hospital. The suspect's still on the loose tonight. Channel 11's Kara Sapita talked with a man who saw the alleged victim minutes after it happened.
Pittsburgh police cruisers rushed off in both directions on Liberty Avenue in search of a well-dressed man, light blue eyes with a gun and a gas mask. The gunman terrified this young worker while she was all alone here at the tight spot. The 19-year-old was too frightened to talk on camera, but told us the man walked in with a mask on, told her to get on the floor, and held a gun to her head. She says he took her cell phone and cut the cord to the landline in the shop. She says he demanded she give over all of the money and got away with all that was in the cash register, less than $20.
Police came to the door and asked where the victim was, and I didn't know she was back there, so I said, "What victim?"
Steve Lardo works at Lou's Corner Bar 2 doors down. He and police found the victim on the bar's back deck where she ran for help.
She said that someone came in the door and put a gun to her face.
Witnesses saw her run down the building's fire escape in the back. The suspect ran out of the front door where he entered and got away.
Kara also talked to the manager of the Tight Spot, who says at this time of year they are lucky to sell 2 pairs of tights a day, and the suspect is lucky to have gotten away with that much money.
Meantime, shots rang out in McKeesport last night during 3 separate shootings happening just minutes apart, hurting an innocent victim. Channel 11 went back to Beaver Street this morning, talked to neighbors who couldn't believe what happened. Just after 10:30 last night, 2 groups of men traded gunfire on Corson Street. An innocent bystander drove through it and was hit, and he was sent to the hospital in serious condition. One of the shooters was hit too, but not too seriously, and we were there as police picked up nearly 20 shell casings and an automatic rifle.
I'm like, what the heck? So I come to look out the window, seeing all the police cars out here.
It does appear that it was a planned event, if you will, an ambush.
Police believe this is an ongoing fight between 2 groups. If anyone has details, call police right away.
Theft charges are dropped against a former Pittsburgh police chaplain accused of taking money meant for the family of a 12-year-old murder victim. Police say Keith Smith of Crafton held $332 meant for Jaleesa Barber's family until police questioned him. We talked to Smith's attorney, who says there's a lack of evidence.
They tried to pinpoint him as a point person of taking some money in the fraudulent scheme. All he was trying to do was help some people out, and he was unable to do that, and instead he was charged with these crimes. So after he found himself after 3 years charged with these crimes, and as a chaplain, it's probably the worst thing you could be charged with, is stealing money.
The family said Smith never gave them the money, which was collected from members of the Community House Presbyterian Church. Barber was killed on January 28, 2008, when 2 gunmen fired more than 40 rounds into their family's North Side home. More details now on the latest tragedy to hit the Jaleesa Barber family. Last week, her mother was wounded and her brother was killed in a shooting near their Perry South home. Kimberly Wade is still recovering tonight, but 19-year-old Chris Mishaw was killed. We checked with police tonight and they have no new leads on any suspects.
A Penn Hills man will stand trial after a high-speed chase that ended in a SWAT situation in Monroeville. Police say 24-year-old Ryan Gomez led them on a chase along the Parkway East after a domestic dispute with his girlfriend last week. Gomez then allegedly hit a drop ceiling in an office building for nearly 4 hours. Domestic dispute charges against Gomez were dropped after his girlfriend refused to testify.
After being open just 2 weeks, a skate park is already a victim of vandalism. Park officials discovered the damage done to Elwood City's new skate park yesterday morning. They found a park bench spray painted with obscenities and a skateboard obstacle broken. Police believe at least 2 people are behind the acts. Officials are now looking into security.
For a couple nights, 3 or 4 nights, I stayed up almost all night thinking they were coming back because they left a lot of tools.
There have been a lot of
restless nights for a Beaver County neighborhood. Those residents fed up with being hit again and again by thieves. We talked to neighbors in North Sewickley whose cars and garages were broken into. More than 30 people were missing items from their vehicles, including GPS units, iPods, and cell phones. Neighbors are fed up and they say they don't feel safe in their own homes.
We get proactive and, not be afraid to call the police, not be afraid to call a contact and say something doesn't look right.
Police believe at least 2 people are responsible.
Uniontown police are investigating a crime that led to a service outage. Investigators say the suspects entered through an underground Verizon vault and then shut down the power. The outage left the area without phone or computer service for almost 24 hours. Police say this put the entire county at risk when it comes to emergency services. The Flight 93 Memorial near Shanksville still needs to raise more than $10 million to finish its design. The park is set to be dedicated next month, but the memorial now isn't expected to be completed until 2014. An upgraded visitor center and a 93-foot tower hung with 40 wind chimes to honor the 40 passengers and crew killed on the flight still needs to be constructed. President Obama is expected to visit the memorial in a month on the 10th anniversary of 9/11. The Dark Knight Rises is still taking over downtown Pittsburgh.
We're getting a look at another big-name actor in the film. That's next.
New video tonight from the set of The Dark Knight Rises. Not only did we get a chance to check out new Batmobiles today, but we spotted some of the actors. You can see Joseph Gordon-Levitt walking through a snowy scene. And we also tracked down this tumbler moving its way through the snowy Oliver Avenue. Hard to think about snow, but
I know.
We've certainly seen it here in the last few days.
Cool stuff for rolling down the street, but a beautiful day today, Stephen.
Great kind of clean sweep in the atmosphere, making things feel good outside. And we're going to hang in with that tomorrow.
Say it's not going to be a complete washout for the weekend, but it looks like Saturday morning's the driest.
Good to
Get
know
out
that.
and do it on Saturday morning, yeah.
Yes.
All right, sir.
Honey-do list. Saturday morning.
Yard work time for me.
All right. Coming up on 11 Sox on Fox Sports, the Steelers getting ready for their opener, and there's a new Steeler to talk about. We'll have the latest on that acquisition by Pittsburgh, that signing. Also ahead, the Pitt Football Panthers getting down to business, and get ready to see them open it up. All next.